Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I've got a wake-up call for a lot of you today. We're going to dive into the firearms market because some of the guns in your safe might be dropping in value faster than you think. In the last year alone, some once popular models have seen their resale prices absolutely collapse. We're talking losses of 30, 40, and even 60%, which is a big hit. Guns that were once the talk of the town are now just sitting on pawn shop racks and in online listings. This should be a reminder that buying a gun, just because it's popular right now, doesn't mean it's going to hold its value. The market can change on a dime. Trends shift, new competitors pop up, and what seemed like a great investment can quickly turn into a financial letdown. So today, we're counting down 10 real-world examples of guns that have taken a hard hit in value between 2024 and 2025. These aren't some obscure models. Some of them are household names. Get ready, because a few of these drops even surprise seasoned collectors. If you own one of these, you might be holding something worth hundreds less than you thought. Let's get this list started with the Sig Sauer P250. Back in 2007, this pistol seemed like a peek into the future with its modular fire control unit, which was the serialized part of the gun. The idea was brilliant. Buy one core firearm and swap it into a full-size, compact, or subcompact just by changing the grip module and slide. It retailed for around $600, and people were pumped. But the excitement faded once people actually shot it. The P250 had a long, heavy, double-action-only trigger pull, which felt outdated compared to the striker-fired triggers from Glock and Smith and Wesson that most shooters were used to. The final blow came in 2014 when Sig released the P320. It had the same modularity, but with a crisp, striker-fired system that everyone wanted. The P250 was instantly obsolete. By 2024, a used P250 in great condition could still get you $450 to $500. But fast forward to mid-2025, and prices have plummeted to $325, sometimes even less. That's a roughly 40% drop in just 1 year. It's still a reliable and accurate gun, but the market has completely moved on. Next on the list is the Defense DDM4 V7. For a long time, this was considered one of the best factory AR-15s you could buy. Defense built its reputation on quality, and the V7 proved it with its cold hammer-forged barrel, great MLOK handguard, and mil-spec internals. It was the rifle you bought when you wanted something premium without going fully custom. During all the political uncertainty and panic buying from 2019 to 2021, these rifles were selling for $1,800 to $2,000 and flying off the shelves. But by 2025, the story had completely changed. You could find brand new DDM4 V7s for $1,250 to $1,300, which is a 30 to 35% drop from their peak. The rifle itself hasn't changed. The market has. Competition is fiercer than ever, with companies like Bravo Company Manufacturing and Aero Precision offering high-quality rifles for under $1,000. The AR market is also just flooded, and without that panic-buying urgency, there are more rifles than buyers. It's still a fantastic rifle to own, but if you bought it as an investment, the resale market has made it clear that those days are over. From there, let's talk about the FN/FNS-9. When it came out in 2011, it was FN Herstal's big play to get into the striker-fired duty pistol market. On paper, it looked like a winner. It was a polymer-framed 9mm with ambidextrous controls and a 17-round capacity, but just never caught on. The trigger was a little spongy, the reset wasn't great, and the grip felt just different enough to throw off shooters used to Glocks or M&Ps. The biggest problem was the lack of aftermarket support. If you own a Glock, you could find a holster or part anywhere. FNS-9 owners had to hunt for options, which limited its appeal for both police and civilians. It launched at around $550 to $600, putting it in direct competition with pistols that already had long track records. Today, in 2025, police trade-in FNS-9s are selling for around $300 to $350. That's a 50% drop from the original price. It's a reliable and accurate pistol, but it never found a solid place in the market. Moving right along, we can't ignore the Smith and Wesson M&P Shield. When it hit the market in 2012, it was a game-changer for concealed carry. It filled the gap between thick, heavy double-stack pistols and tiny .3 ADS. The Shield was slim, chambered in 9mm, and felt great to shoot. It dominated sales for years, with millions sold. But then, in 2018, Sig dropped the P250, which had 10 or 12 rounds in the same footprint. Springfield followed with the Hellcat, Ruger with the Max 9, and Glock with the 43X. Suddenly, the Shield looked like old news. While it's still reliable and accurate, buyers now wanted the new, higher-capacity options. By 2025, a used first-generation Shield often sells for as little as $250 to $300. That's a 40% drop in value. For new shooters on a budget, it's one of the best deals out there. But for resale value, the Shield is clearly a loser. Another firearm that has taken a big hit is the Mossberg 500. This shotgun is a true legend, with millions produced since 1961. It's a simple, effective workhorse with a tough design and a modular system. It's been a staple in hunting camps, police cars, and homes for decades. For years, they sold for around $350 to $400 new. But by 2025, the used market tells a very different story. Lightly used Mossberg 500s are often found between $225 and $275, a drop of 30 to 40%. It's not because it's a bad gun. It's still incredibly reliable. The issue is simple: oversupply. With so many produced, there's always a huge number of them available on the used market, which drives prices down. It will never be an investment piece because the supply is endless. Then we have the Remington 783. Released in 2013, it was Remington's answer to the budget bolt-action rifle market. It had a synthetic stock, a free-floated barrel, and an adjustable trigger, and many models even came with a scope. It was surprisingly accurate, and new models retailed for around $380 to $399. But by 2025, used Remington 783 rifles are often listed at $250 or less, a 35 to 45% drop. The issue isn't its performance, it's the competition. The Savage Axis II and Ruger American Rifle continue to improve, and the 783 just doesn't stand out in that crowded field. It's a clear loser when it comes to resale. Now let's look at the Beretta PX 4 Storm. Launched in 2004, it was meant to be Beretta's modern polymer frame duty pistol. It used a unique rotating barrel locking system that was meant to reduce felt recoil, which it did surprisingly well. It built a loyal fan base and retailed for around $650 to $700. But the pistol never achieved Glock-level dominance. By 2025, used PX4S in great condition are available for $425 to $475, a drop of about 30%. The market has just shifted overwhelmingly to striker-fired pistols, and the PX4's aftermarket support is limited. Next is the CZ P07. This pistol came out in 2009, bringing CZ's popular Omega trigger system to a lightweight polymer frame. It had great ergonomics and a 15-round capacity, and it was competitive at its launch price of $500 to $525. By 2025, however, used P07s sell for between $375 to $425. That's a 20 to 30% drop. The decline isn't about quality. The P07 is durable and accurate. It's because CZ themselves started pushing the striker-fired P10 series, which pulled buyers away. As we near the end of the list, we have the Ruger SR 1911. When this pistol was released in 2011, it surprised everyone. It was a serious entry into the 1911 market with a stainless steel frame, Novak-style sights, and a clean Series 70 trigger. At a street price of around $750, it was a great deal. It was dependable and accurate. But in 2025, used SR 1911s in good condition sell for $575 to $625. That's a 15 to 20% decline. The 1911 market is just too crowded, and many imports undercut Ruger's pricing. It's a great pistol, but it's not rare or collectible. Finally, we come to the FNX 45 Tactical. This handgun, released in 2012, was a wish list gun brought to life. It was a modern, fully featured .45 that was optics ready with a threaded barrel and suppressor height sights. It had an impressive 15-round capacity and retailed for between $1,100 and $1,300. It proved to be a soft-shooting and capable handgun. But in 2025, used FNX 45 Tacticals are selling for $950 to $1,050, a 20 to 25% drop from its original price. While it's still one of the most capable .45s out there, the market has become flooded with cheaper, optics-ready 9mm pistols that check most of the same boxes. If you own any of these firearms, it doesn't mean you made a bad choice. Every single one of them is still a reliable tool that can defend your home, put food on the table, or run great at the range. But if you bought them expecting their value to go up, the reality is different. Guns are tools first and investment second. So, the big takeaway is to buy what you truly enjoy shooting and what fits your needs, not just what's popular at the moment. Resale value is unpredictable, and even trusted names can take a slide. The firearms world is always changing, and last year's must-have can become this year's bargain. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss future deep dives into the gun market. And let me know in the comments if you own any of these. Have you seen prices crash in your area? Your experiences can help others understand the reality of gun values. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe, train hard, and keep shooting straight.